Now here's an amazing thing about life. Because life gives us repeatedly all kinds of hardships, tragedies, difficulties. And yet, looking back after many years, we see that that was a good thing. Unless that had happened, I wouldn't have been able to do this. Unless that tragedy had occurred, I would have gotten stuck in a cul-de-sac and never come out of it. Again and again, if we can have faith in God, that whatever He gives to us, pleasant, unpleasant, just doesn't enter the picture, it doesn't matter. But many times we rebel and think, oh, why does He want this? Anything but this. But if we can have the faith to understand that He is guiding our lives and go along with it, like a good surfboard rider who goes with the wave instead of thinking, I wish the wave would go another direction. If we could take that attitude in our lives and launch ourselves into whatever it is that God has given us to do, or that we feel from inside, because mind you, people often say, well, I just don't want to know what God wants. Well, He works through you, through your own impulse. He works through what you know you have inside. But then if you give it to Him and let Him do it, and don't think you've got to control that wave yourself, and work from your own center, or if it's a group working, work from the center of the group, and not abrasively each one separate from the group, because that's when ego gets into the picture. Always refer any doubt, any question, back to your own center, back to the center in the group, back to the God within. And you'll see that somehow it flows. You don't have to understand exactly why or how. I know that in Reflections on Living, Vidura mentioned several times that you just can't even understand how Ananda succeeds. And of course, you don't have to understand. It works because the Spirit's right. The mechanics of it are taken care of on another level. But the more we think with worries and furrowed brow about how is it going to work, the more we interfere with that flow. But if with faith we dive in, like after the fire in '76, there was no reason we should have survived that fire. There was no reason. We had no insurance, we had no money, we didn't have huge donations. How did we survive it? Because we believe in God. And we just dived in. And I think one of my favorite photographs is that one of Asha cleaning the cinders and burned limbs of trees away from the ground with a big blissful smile on her face. That's the attitude with which we've faced every test. And we found that God is always there. He's always with you. But we sometimes can close the door if we worry too much and if we think too much in terms of what are the mechanics. Because those mechanics take care of themselves. Sure, you don't want to be stupid about it, but in using your best intelligence, that's all that can be really asked of you. So what have I learned in my 50 years of discipleship? Well, I've learned one thing above all, that my only goal is to be an ever better disciple. And I hope that by the time I leave this body, that Master will say, good job, Walter.